I think it's safe to say there isn't a massive percentage of people that are comfortable with their Web3 or blockchain knowledge, and I certainly would put myself in that category.
Yes, I think that's a widespread sentiment. And that's okay. It takes time to separate the signal from the noise, which is the big problem that the industry has. That's why I'm saying look at the legitimate headlines, look for the big companies that are making moves. Because if you take any person who is not adjusted to this buzz atmosphere that wraps around crypto and you jump on Twitter and you see a bajillion coins being shilled and people losing money and scams all over the place, you're going to say, wow, this is actually not a technology I want to be involved in. And in fact, you don't even perceive it as a technology. You probably think of it as a new way to gamble. And that's not what the underlying technology was supposed to represent. It was supposed to be a peer to peer mechanism where you and I can move money in a digital realm. In real life, I can give you cash. How do I do it online? I need a bunch of parties, intermediaries. And then just because we're using them, they take a little bit off the top. That's how you get those processing fees. And it takes time. So that, I mean, that was the envision for Bitcoin. And then that evolved. Well, what else is peer to peer? Well, any sort of transaction, any sort of movement in business, whether it's information or money. And the technology evolved, new business cases arose where people said, well, we could move ownership of a physical asset in this way. And usually I need a bunch of custodians and people to help me verify the transaction. And people said, no, look at a decentralized ledger. There is a better alternative way to handle this. So I think if you go back to the fundamentals of what the technology is supposed to be, people can appreciate it. They understand that there's always intermediaries in our transactions, whether it's me trying to purchase a burrito and you have that little kiosk, which is an intermediary, or online. And because online is so complex, there's sign into this, verify with this. This party is going to be processing your transaction. We use this to help you sign up. Like we know that there's a many different things that are getting involved in sometimes the most simple of tasks. So we could appreciate a more peer-to-peer transaction network, how it simplifies things. And then the trust components. Uh, how do we verify who's on the other end of that? How do we come to know that what was moved actually happened and trace that back? Because that's what the intermediaries are usually doing. Like we trust a third party to keep a record of it. And then if turns out we bought something and it was fraudulent, we can go back to the third party and dispute it, file a claim. So how do we embed that into a technology? And if people can appreciate that, then they're appreciating blockchain, the verification of transactions, the verification of other parties, the immutability, like looking back and saying, okay, there's no manipulation here. We can only change things going forward. We can't change the past about how this information or these assets moved. I like that. I trust that. And this is completely different than new coins coming out that you're going to put a bunch of money into and probably lose. So you have to separate these Wild West, uh, I don't even want to call them use cases, but instances that have arisen and separate that from what the technology was supposed to offer. It's the same thing how we're having a video call here. This is just communication. People have been communicating since people existed. But what else can you use a video call for? Lots of things, and sometimes bad things. So just understanding what's the technology, how do I appreciate that, and then investigating some of the use cases, which I think we're going to be doing today.